Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Johan Castell and you're watching Wings. On the show today, we travel to Alula in Saudi Arabia. We explore the ancient wonders of Hegra in a classic car through the Saudi Arabian landscape. The World Heritage Week Festival takes place this week. We tell you what it is and how it was celebrated. We then see how the ancient city of Varanasi is preparing to celebrate the Festival of Lights of Gods. Let's start. We recently visited an exciting destination in Saudi Arabia, Alula in the Asher Valley. In our first story of the week, we show you how to get there and the best thing to do in this new destination.
Saudi Arabia opened up for tourism only in 2019 and is a new destination for most travelers. Although the country has seen a lot of religious tourism to its mosques in Mecca and Medina for centuries, modern tourism for normal tourists is only just beginning. But before we show you the destination, let's begin with how to get there. First up, we fly with Saudi Airlines from New Delhi to Jeddah.
So we are flying business today. It's going to be interesting to see what business class is like on this airline. I guess I don't have to worry about leg room here. Quite nice table. Is this mahogany? Long-established Saudi cuisine, served Malay style.
What a meal! I have to say that this is just like having a meal in a decent place in the airport. Not world class, but really tasty considering we're on a flight.
As for the features here, the seats are quite advanced. There's one button to bring it down into a full flat-laying bed. One other button to bring it back to seating upright. Then there is back and forth for the backrest, plus and minus for lumbar support, and up and down for the footrest as well.
After a flight time of around 5.5 hours, we touched down in Jeddah, and before we know it, it is time to deboard the plane.
It's very easy to get out of a business class seat. Just walk right out. There's nobody in the way in front of you. It's no waiting. Look how crowded it is. So crowded. I feel stressed.
After reaching Jeddah, we boarded another flight to Medina and reached another new and modern airport. After reaching our destination at Habitat's Alula, we receive a cup of customary cardamom coffee with dates. Now it's time to sleep in the luxurious Habitat's resort before learning more about this place in the morning. After a sound night of sleep, I meet Melanie Theza poolside at the Habitat's Hotel restaurant. Melanie, we are in a beautiful location. Can you tell me about Alula? What is the unique thing about this destination?
Thanks, Johan, for having me, first off. It's about 1,100 kilometers northwest of Riyadh. And as you can see, the most stunning settings, a heritage and cultural destination, synonymous with 200,000 years of human history and 7,000 years of civilization. So certainly a destination of global heritage significance.
What are some of the must-see things for people that visit this area? Like if you were to give me some of the highlights.
The iconic visual is Hegra. 110 beautifully preserved tombs over this very vast tract of land. The ancient civilization the world doesn't know much about, and which is the site at the moment of one of the world's largest archaeological digs.
Really?
Is Dedan.
Wow.
And Dedan is associated, it goes back at least to the 9th century BCE, but possibly earlier.
When it comes to Saudi Arabia as a destination, I mean, it just opened up for tourism not that long ago. Does tourism have a chance to, say, change the perception of Saudi Arabia as a country? Are people surprised when they come to visit Saudi Arabia in their experiences versus what their preconceived ideas about the country are?
I think that's a really good question. As part of Saudi Vision 2030, as the economy is attempting to diversify away from oil, tourism has certainly been earmarked as a sector that will be a significant contributor to the economy more broadly. Perceptually, in terms of the needle, it has moved so dramatically with our borders having now been opened for global tourism about 4.5 years ago. And the constant refrain is how pleasantly surprised they are about the warmth of the people, the genuine pride that Saudis have in showcasing a land that you rightly say has been almost padlocked, if you think about it.
Well, I think I'm going to get on my way then and start exploring this destination.
Enjoy, Johan. I think you're going to have a wonderful few days.
You heard her. We'll have to make a move to Hegra and see what the Rabi has to say about its history. We make our way towards the heritage site through a dry desert landscape. Every now and then we pass a plantation in this oasis town, and palm trees are planted in symmetrical rows by the millions. What cool vehicles they have for this activity. We move through the sandy landscape deep into the desert, and when we reach our first stop, there's an electric buggy waiting for us. Well, it's time to go exploring. It's time to get a move on in another electric vehicle. Models have been placed in front of the monument, dressed up like they are ready for battle, to make the experience of visiting these monuments better for the visitors when taking their pictures. The Ravi, or guide, explains the history of this tomb, its design elements and their influence. So we are at the first spot in Hegra. Check this out. The steps we can see on the top there, they're saying, they believe is a Nabatean sign for the stairway to heaven. So they're saying this tomb was not finished, so nothing was found inside. But we're gonna go and check out more of these tombs. The expedition continues. The adventure continues through the dry desert landscape of Alula towards the next stop near sandstone cliffs in the desert. The next site is called Jabal Ithlib, a special place for the Nabatean people. The naturally formed passage leads to a sacred area with inscriptions, shrines, altars, and sanctuaries.
Look at this place. Isn't it so cool how this canyon separates? And it's like a perfect line just down here. And it's not touching. Quite neat, huh? And look at this massive room just carved out of the sandstone. I mean, this thing is huge. And even here we can see in the corners that it's as if they've carved pillars into the corners of this room. It's quite cool, huh?
The models who are designated to this monument are much more to my liking than the previous ones. This one looks great in photos. But now it's time to make a move.
The area is a little bit spread out. It's a little bit of a drive in between each spot. And some of them, there's a tour bus coming in. In other spots, there'd be like a classic car coming in. So it seems like different things are on the itinerary depending on which tour you're taking over here.
After a few minutes, we make it back to the Hegra Welcome Center.
Well, we only visited 2 different spots, but I guess that's enough. We get the gist of it. So it seems like the area is much larger than what we had time to explore. But as a tour, it's worth it.
There's a coffee shop at the center and a gift shop with all kinds of souvenirs. There's also a fascinating exhibit here, where you can come face to face with Hinat. This is the world's first reconstruction of a Nabatean woman. The exhibition commemorates the 15th anniversary of Hegra as a UNESCO heritage site.
This week is known globally as World Heritage Week. It is an annual week full of events and celebrations of our shared heritage that aims to promote the conservation and preservation of cultural and natural heritage sites around the globe. Let's explore more.
World Heritage Week is now in full swing. This week is an annual celebration that aims to promote the conservation and preservation of cultural and natural heritage sites and is celebrated every year from November 19th to November 25th. The week serves as an opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of safeguarding and protecting World Heritage Sites, recognized for their outstanding universal value. World Heritage Week is closely associated with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, which plays a significant role in identifying and designating World Heritage Sites and supporting their preservation. In India, the festival is celebrated by ASI, the Archaeological Survey of India, as they exempted entry fees of all protected monuments, including the Taj Mahal, Agra Fort and the Minar at Fatehpur Sikri. For one day on November 19th, the World Wonder in Agra witnessed a massive increase in the number of visitors as the entry fee was waived for the architectural marvel. However, the mausoleum of the Taj Mahal was still chargeable. India's ASI has protected over 3,650 archaeological sites and ancient monuments from different periods. This includes temples, mosques, tombs, churches, forts, rock-cut caves, and secular architecture, and more. The event serves as a platform to emphasize the need for sustainable conservation practices and the importance of community involvement to preserve heritage sites for future generations. During World Heritage Week, various events and activities take place globally to celebrate and highlight the significance of World Heritage Sites, including exhibitions, workshops, lectures, guided tours, and cultural performances. The world's heritage sites represent the diversity of human history and natural wonders across different countries. By celebrating World Heritage Week, we can recognize the universal value of these sites and the collective responsibility to protect them all over the world.
Shifting our gaze back home to India, let's see how the ancient city of Varanasi is preparing to celebrate the Festival of Lights of Gods.
Recently, a massive Deepotsav or Festival of Lights was held in the Indian city of Ayodhya. Boasting a staggering 2.2 million lamps, Ayodhya entered the Guinness Book of World Records for lighting the highest number of lamps simultaneously at a single location. Once again, a similar scene is said to be recreated in the ancient Indian city of Varanasi. Here, the stage is set to host a grand celebration of Dev Deepawali, or the Festival of Lights of the Gods, on the 26th of November. The festival marks the victory of Lord Shiva over the demon Tripurasur. This visually spectacular day is celebrated annually in Varanasi, where a sea of tiny lit lamps dot the ghats of the river Ganga. On Dev Deepawali, Hindus wake up early to take a bath in the holy Ganga river and light diyas in the evening and pray to Lord Shiva. The festival's significance is based on a story that's rooted in Hindu mythology. The demon Tarkasur had 3 sons who were known as Tripurasur. With their severe penance, they managed to impress Lord Brahma and asked for the boon of immortality. While their wish was granted, it was ordained that they could only be killed with a single arrow. Following this, the 3 brothers wreaked havoc and caused mass destruction. That is when Lord Shiva took the avatar of Tripurari and killed them all with a single arrow. Relieved and delighted, the Hindu gods descended from heaven on this day to celebrate this victory of good over evil. The local administration has made arrangements for pink booths, emergency help desks, an anti-terrorist squad and intelligence teams, all to make the experience enjoyable yet safe for everyone. Over 500,000 visitors are expected to attend the festival this year. They will get to witness the spectacular sight of the Ganges River and its illuminated ghats. The visitors will be able to enjoy these impressive views on 1,200 boats set to operate on the river.
Next, we take a tour around the world for heartwarming stories of animals. We start with a story from Central America's Nicaragua, where a zoo opens its doors for visitors to see an albino puma cub.
Nicaragua is located in Central America on the other side of the planet from New Delhi. Back in July, a rare sight struck caretakers at the Thomas Belt Zoo in Uigalpa in central Nicaragua. A small pink-nosed white puma cub was born. Said to be the first albino puma cub born in captivity in the Central American country. The zoo has now opened its doors for visitors to meet the cub, named Itzai. The cub is now 4 months old, has grown up to be strong and healthy, and has become a sensation on social media since her birth was announced in August. Over to Italy now. Where a lion had managed to escape from a circus earlier this month. The lion prowled the streets of an Italian seaside town for many hours before being sedated and captured. The Italian police released aerial images of the lion roaming through what looks like a field. The handler of the lion insisted that the lion is like a pet, as campaigners called for a ban on wild animals in entertainment. After more than 5 hours, the animal was finally sedated and captured and returned to his cage. Over to United States now. As Paramount sets a new world record for the highest number of dogs present at a film screening in Los Angeles. So what movie did the studio screen for all the pooches? The Autry Museum hosted an outdoor showing of the popular animated film, Paw Patrol, the mighty movie, where Californians enthusiastically participated in this unique event. Combining the love for pets and the joy of going to the movies, this exceptional gathering made for a truly memorable and delightful day for everyone involved. The following story is from Japan. In the bustling surroundings near one of Tokyo's major train stations, a statue commemorates the unwavering loyalty of a dog, whose poignant tale has transformed him into a cherished symbol for generations. This canine icon, Hachiko, celebrates his centenary this month and was once the devoted companion of university professor Hidesaburo Ueno. Each day, the faithful Hachiko would eagerly await Ueno's return at Shibuya Station. Tragically, Ueno passed away unexpectedly in 1925. But Hachiko persisted in coming to the train station, waiting mournfully for his master for nearly a decade until his own passing in March 1935. The site has become one of the most popular tourist sites in Tokyo. Moving over to North Africa now. At a Tunisian center dedicated to the conservation of endangered sea turtles, a group of individuals from a turtle conservation organization affixes a GPS tag to the shell of a fully grown female loggerhead sea turtle before reintroducing her to the Mediterranean Sea. The turtle, named Rose, had spent a month at the center, following her entanglement in a fisherman's net. Since its establishment in June of 2021, the center has successfully rescued close to 80 sea turtles, actively striving to increase awareness about the threats turtles encounter from both fishermen and the general public. And now over to Cambodia for a fun story about an artist who turns tires into a giant King Kong. Emerging dramatically from the serene paddy fields on the outskirts of Phnom Penh is an immense and fierce gorilla crafted entirely from discarded tires by a Cambodian artist. The intention behind this creation is to inspire others to adopt a similar approach to repurposing materials in their artistic endeavors. Mean Teeth Heap have been making these creations for 4 years and has made some 40 animals like King Kong, Monkey King, Garuda and a horse, all in an appeal for people to recycle.
That's all we have time for on the show this week, but we'll return next weekend with another episode. For now, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.